Sanchoramboje maje bananje jurje sheba nyamba mebada Kone gondam pera shows. Did you sleep well? And did you meditate a little bit on this book? And did you analyze this book or not? Okay, good. Sonia said yes and yes today. She is very happy. And also it's a little bit necessary to think. I mean, yesterday we talking about a lot of how it is impermanent on the past, and like outer universal, inner living beings, and also holy beings, and powerful and rich. And many there are like not kind of mysterious histories. And they are really like kind of this happened in the past. And in this perspective, maybe we can to learn about the transitory nature or our really this nature. I mean, it's like in the Buddhist perspective, you can to say, okay, I mean, this is also, it's like logically like, we have the nature of the reality. Nature of the reality is, it is transcribed by the Buddha's teachings. Nature reality is the free from birth, old age, sickness, death. And this is like can go beyond the samsara and nirvana, and it is go beyond the sorrow and the like kind of the relative sorrow and relative kind of happy. And reality is this is very much extraordinary. Of course, we are living in it, and we are every day. One, I'm just kind of making funny things. We are living in it. Also, it's like itself is ourself. And also, we are eating, we are touching, and we are sharing. We are like building in it. In this perspective, we cannot go beyond that. That is our basic universal. And yesterday I make kind of joke, give some answers. And we need to analyze, to check if you want, that's if you wish. And for example, we have negative thoughts, positive thoughts. But negative thoughts is arrive. Then is our mind is, now mind is negative? Not at all. This is also transitory. And negative mind is something is disappeared. Then there is such a positive thoughts. One is positive is like thoughts arrive. And then my mind is positive. There's no fixations. That is very important. I mean, it's like maybe when you finish this mundos, these preliminary studies things, then maybe your mind is become more stable, more understander, more become the receptacle to receive something, more advantage things. Then you can do more to study how it is. And then it's the principle, this mind, or the principle, even the universal itself has two nature, the realities. And it seems, looks like, it's like kind of the like start and to outer universal, and then is the maintain in some in the periods, and also then the end destructions, destroyed. But where it is, afterward, universal is burned up, lot of dust, and then finally there is a water, winds. When they are disappeared into the space where there is. Maybe there's no trade. For example, these huge universals to burn up, and how much there is the ash or dust. Where they are gone, there's nothing place. It's gone, it's nature itself. Afterwards, there is no trade. It's very funny. It is inconceivable. And that is we need to talk. But, and also it's like our minds. And to a little bit to concerning in the dualistic minds, confusion's minds. We have a lot of negative actions, negative tendencies, ignorant. And according that, it's difficult to see it. What we see things looks like substantially existence. And it's a very much strong, difficult to understand. The existence of the substantial. And then it's like we all the time holding the impermanent things, thinking permanent. And permanent things, impermanent. And contaminate things, thinking incontaminate. Incontaminate things is like contaminated. And this is a little bit kind of the wrong. We should to be serious our own self, to really to concerning. Sometimes may we think I'm clever, I know, I want to do this, but sometimes we are not clever, we are very much stupid. I'm sorry to say that, but it's really, and to be honest, to analyze, it's not necessarily follow up the sermons, not necessarily immediately put faith, devotion to follow up. A little bit to search our own self. It's now we are talking about the really relative realities. In the relatively, and there is the relative valid cognitions. It's a function that cause dependency of the result, the untalkable of the nature characteristics. And this is like this. It's a look, for example, it's our human beings, each individual, there is untalkable natural characteristics. It is almost sometimes unacceptable and sometimes behaviors, characteristics. But if you ask, and maybe we can do good things more to develop, a little bit strange things to change and to make the good, never they don't. Then, so what can we do? Like Sam, 5 elements, sometimes we can to make the time, we can to change. Fire is burning, but we can to put the whole water and make the cool. Like kind of some dirty things to clean. But sometimes the human is like this nature, untalkable characteristics. It's inconceivable. But the reality is we need to be honest with ourselves. Then is to look in these realities. For example, Buddha, he said, it's like, if you believe me, and you say whatever I said, you swallow, you follow. That is the most stupid things. Don't do that. Then it's wonderful. And we can to analyze. Yesterday we can to say, someone gives suggestions. I don't understand. Can you give me a little bit information? Okay, you give me information, then I need to analyze. Do cope, like kind of cooperating and together. Maybe we can to find something. And to solutions here. And for example, when we obtain the human existence, we take the rebirth in the human societies. And then it's just like immediately says, Mom, are you human? Dad, are you human? Sister, brothers, yes, I am also is the human. When we obtain the human existence, what we need to do, meaningful human existence, and to spend happy. Human life is normally, it is necessary for the purpose of the happiness. But sometimes it's very difficult. Maybe family, father, mother, brother, sisters, they have very strange behaviors. Maybe doesn't correspond to our own to the nature characteristic. But it doesn't matter. Don't need to criticize to them. We need to look at ourselves. And how is the human existence? What am I doing? Meaningful life I'm doing? I'm enjoyed my life. And you make happy, you make kind yourself, you make cheerful yourself. It's our own individual responsibilities. That is, it is this is. And then we do ourselves to get the self-confidence and also to, self-therapy and support, change behaviors, change something distant. Yesterday we were talking about negative the emotions. Negative emotions they're coming into our mind. If we can do control, we can do control. Then it's negative emotions doesn't disturb to ours. And one is negative disturb emotion arrive and doing something awful things. Then can you change my disturbed emotions behavior? Then it's impossible. And like this, also to make the human existence, to make meaningful happiness, it's our own responsibility. And also thinking about impermanent. And it is also very important because it's like this is the nature, the realities. And if someone argue with me, no, it's not. You saying Buddha said this, everybody is impermanent, but this is not truth. And I can to say there's something permanent. And it's wonderful. Can we find it's like something is permanent. And in the realities, there's nothing out of environment, in whoever living beings dwell in this continent. Everybody is need to go through the impermanent. And this perspective ourselves is absolutely. And also it's like we look at the situation of the impermanent. Maybe sometime to express. Even we can to look at the crash of the aeroplane, crash of the cars. And something is like natural disaster things. When we look at that, that is the process of the impermanent. For example, it's like something is like natural earthquake and something. This turbulence is the process of the impermanent. How much is turmoil? How much scaring? How much is the disaster things? And that's one is like maybe one day our own individual universal. This contaminated body, speech. Mind is very much related to this body speech at the moment. And when this body speech is collapsed, maybe earthquake inside, maybe something sickness, very much pain. And that moment is maybe the like collapsion, like construction, or it is like a kind of the destroying or disappearing start of our body. Of course, mind need to bear that. And that moment, how we can to do. If you just say, not necessarily talking like now, what happened? Of course, we can do it, but that moment give you guarantee, 100% such problems. And it's like a kind of, I may analyze during the night in your bed, maybe certainly is your breath a little bit difficult to out and in. And maybe you think, this making me kind of the cause of the death. And you are searching, hurry up, how I can to contact, what can I do? So, this can, and a little bit nightmare is coming to there, how much we have scaring. And then these nightmares and something is like this. This is just a kind of a little bit small, very much small things. But small these things, how much we are scaring. And then one day is, of course, big impermanent, collapse all the bodies. No bodies cannot help. That moment is mind need to bear at that. It is a very difficult situation, and who can to help? For example, sometimes I make a joke. Some boys, very arrogant boys, proud boys, they all the time, I don't care. If you go to in Tibet, sometimes in my area called the Kambas, when they make the fightings, they're killing each other. What are you doing like this? You don't, the caring is your impermanent to killing each other? I don't care. I'm not afraid. And certainly someone's damaged to you and bring into the hospital, and someone's, they say, is shaking, And they say, okay, you find, you receive something is like that. Now your wound is so strong, you are going to die. Then start shaking, and the tear is coming. They still like kind of the, I need to brave, and but you brave or not brave, that moment you have such a scaring. I don't want to show outside, but inside such a turmoil there is. And that moment, if you have some strength, some you have methods, it is the wonderful. If you're early to learn to study, it's wonderful. Therefore, we are a little bit concerning about the impermanent. And of course, yesterday I asked to you, you training your, like this, on the impermanent, your mind, to taming your this mind with this impermanent. And again and again, to like kind of the analytical meditations. How about outer like a universe, also impermanent? Inner living beings like 100 years ago, and it's like almost whoever existed 100 years ago, now is no existence. In the future, it's like 100 years after, so maybe whoever living now, everything is become the histories. And in this perspective, it's like myself also is like impermanent. And also inside holy beings, powerful, everything's, even the study, we are look at the examples, 4 seasons, and the summer, autumn, winter, springs. Everything looks like impermanent. Then certainly you have this, the certainty, definitive, confirmably realization of the impermanent. And then your mind is become more kind of the conservative, I would say, thinking about the impermanent. Then it's a little bit small things, problems, you don't much to care. And very much it's like what you have things more satisfied, easily to practice kindness, develop compassion, and also it's like maybe once you receive some important practice things, and easily to develop because you have enthusiastic, like kind of the ones when we need to eat food, and then we need like appetite. When we have appetite, it's like want to eat, then it's like food is more delicious, more we can to eat. There's no appetite, it's like inspired to eat. Then any kind of delicious put in the front of ours, we don't want. And therefore, I'm saying it's like, did you meditate on the emptiness? Empty is impermanent. How do you think? Do you have any other things to say? And this is the truth. What do you think or not? And what in the text says, do you like agree or not agree? And do you have some, it's like, this is not really truth. Do you have any doubts? Any like kind of, to say something?
Parlez là-dedans. Alors, restez surpris. Rinpoche, I wrote many questions, and I hope I will have the chance to make my point of view clear.
I don't know, it's like, it's something is good and precise and to benefit for them, I will give you answer. Just nonsense, I'm not sure I give you answer. Yeah, ask.
That is very encouragé. Vous m'encouragez beaucoup en disant ça. Je suis très enthousiaste pour poser mes questions. Donc, j'ai écrit mes questions et j'ai donné tout mon soin possible pour être précis.
Okay, what is your questions? Yeah.
My opinion, I can only speak about my point of view. So in my opinion, people here in the West knows perfectly, and from my point of view, every human being knows that that impermanence exists. My point of view. So
then why they need to learn?
Yes. So then my next question, what I am saying.
For example,
because
if you say all the Western, everybody knows impermanent, then why yourself to learn this one?
So then, because it is now my analysis, then I would say. So the precise question is,
Sonia.
We don't want to know that it is impermanent. Also, I say I don't want to know that it is impermanent, all the kingdoms of Tibet, because here in Europe we also have histories and kingdoms, and we know perfectly all these things. Everybody has had someone in his family where someone died and it was great suffering. Now the question. In my experience, in my analysis, people make a lot of strategy to avoid.
What this means?
We have a lot of manners not to realize this impermanence, but Swiss, by taking drugs, by making this kind of excesses who are more and more dangerous, by following leaders who say, go with me in the war and then you will be good person. My concrete question to you is, you have now been 20 years in our civilization. What would you suggest to Western
study
people?
Impermanent.
Impermanent, we can study. We have plenty of things to study it.
No.
We are in
we
the
don't
internet.
Understand
We can even the United States, Africa. When this person wrote this book, he only know about Tibet. He even did not know if there is something in Europe, if there is a sea anywhere. He did not know he was in his Tibet and he was there. So, but nowadays, we know, we have internet, we know all these things.
No, we don't understand.
So what I don't understand, that is my question. I don't understand
I give you suggestions
to
study impermanent.
Yes, for how many days now already? It's not a critic. I'm not speaking out of pride or arrogance. I'm begging you, please help us here, our Western civilization.
Do you understand the question? I don't understand. Oh yes, that's a very great. I'm telling you what happened on the past in Tibet. What happened in Europe? What happened in this universe? It's true. This is your question is that you need to study more impermanent. Okay, good. Do you have other questions? And to say something. This is the Sonia. I don't understand. Maybe you took some medicine. I think yours is. I think it's problems. Sonia, and okay, Sonia, and others, okay. Yes, that's maybe it's of course if someone's understood impermanent through the internet and something, and this is wonderful. For example, myself, I'm telling just you accept or not accept experience. I'm now like 55 years old, and it's even my mom, dad is show me the impermanent, but still it's like difficult to really to concern the impermanent. Still I'm thinking I'm like kind of the forever, I'm permanent, still doing silly things. It is like my own like to telling to you this now it looks like times not much concerning in this worldly, in the lively. If I'm to say I succeed or not succeeded, then it's like I done. Now it's like if you're thinking more, maybe it's yesterday in the book said it's concerning the well-being, famous, and so something things. Now maybe it's too late to thinking about the impermanent. I mean the serious to saying that it's like maybe, I don't know, 55 years old persons. It's when it is happened, we don't know. And in this certain point, it's like seriously in the book it says, now it's the frontier. In the front, my impermanent is arrived. And that moment and these times, I want to distance, say, please don't come in too close. Impossible. I cannot to make the more distant or add that, maybe delayed a little bit. Impossible. Certainly its time is coming. I need to check out. That moment, even I may become the owner of this universal things, what I need to do. Even I have the whole family of this universal. What can they do? How they can to share my situation of the impermanent. In this perspective, early, right now, if I'm a little bit concerned, yeah, okay, good. Maybe it's like how long be healthy. Look, we can do obviously. When we become the old, difficult to see, difficult to get up, limp and inner organs, everything is slowly collapsed. As much as we take care, it's difficult to do it. Like a kind of die up trees. Whatever you do in the leaves, branches, slowly falling down. And as much you give like a manual fertilizer and something water, it's anyway, it is like this. And then it's like we can to look the obvious, some old people. Oh, now it's like my mother, my father, my grandparents, now quite old. They every day, they understand this kind of. If you can every day to bring into the hospital, give us such a lot of medicine, but getting better. I make sometimes, how are you? Say, I'm okay. So what does it mean okay? Each moment after that, we can do 40, 50 years. Then, I mean, say it's like in the ages or the astrological perspective is like 49 years. It's after that. Then there is, it's like an inconceivable thing. Before I thought it's like I need reading glasses. Because of that, I thought it's diabetic. But some is like a friend, students, before they don't need any glasses. Certainly they need glasses. Without glasses, they are doing like this. And so, where's my glasses? And what happens? Then it's like eyes link. It's a shop. It's going away. Then how we can to get in bed? Okay, maybe operation, but operate. This kind of the like slowly fading is like kind of disappearing of the life. Then need to think next destination, 100%. I'm concerning. I'm going to next destination. I'm not disappeared after my impermanent. And like Sam is like this. And then is the next destination is depends. Go to Pure Land destination or go to the hell Pure the destination. Absolutely depends on my preparation right now. If I love myself, if I'm carrying this, then I need to concern it. You know, in the Patrul Rinpoche's one book, he say, if you love yourself, if you take care of yourself, you should to do right. Now is the time, say. It is truth, to learn, to study. Everything is we can to study is quite good. For example, if we don't know the computers, sometimes you can do a little bit study yourself. Of course, someone's teach to you how to open, how you can to inside all the like kind of the applications to open, to work with them. And even yourself study a little bit, afterwards more easy to operation, to work with operation systems, everything is like this. Whatever in the relative things, we can to learn, we can to study. We can learn to birth, we can to learn old age, we can to learn sickness, we can to learn impermanent, and to learn, to experience. And then we be in these situations, it's like kind of the help. I'm to say that I need to repeat again. For example, during in this retreat, what you are studied. Maybe you studied there's a little bit cosmology, a little bit living beings, a little bit learn different the histories, like a kind of the holy and very powerful. They also is like mainly you study impermanent, but also beside there a little bit kind of the learning these things. And then after it's like finish this retreat, the end, what is the benefit in your heart? Oh, I know it's what happened in Tibet King, as the Sonia said. This is not really important, but you understood, you studied this. Oh, they are also already gone. These situations, these histories, give me something. It's like, yeah, those in the countries, this kind of many happened, changed. How it is in mind now. How about the realization of the impermanent? In this continent, in a living, in Europe, as is like say, there's many different impermanent things. And a little bit concerning the impermanent. And then it's like a little bit kind of the realization of the impermanent is a rise into our minds. And it's like when you be in the at home, maybe it's like a kind of everything is when you son, just make joke. Yeah, but it's everything is impermanent. Kind of you a little bit doubt or repeated or something is like a tendencies coming again. Maybe it's a wonderful. When you are like a little bit thinking impermanent, I need to do something. There's automatic push. This mindful like this. Yesterday we talking about in the seasons. Many different seasons to look. This is showing to, demonstrating to us and the impermanent, even the Buddhas. And when he passed away, someone's asked to him, you are enlightenment, why you is like showing the kind of the death process? It's this is the necessary. It's because it's like I'm showing the demonstration. And he was completely free, and he sit like this, and now I'm going to die. You in the future think even the enlightened beings going to die. It's like yourself is absolutely. In this perspective, you need to take care of yourself, you need to learn. He also showing the giving education, even the death process like this. This kind of is wonderful to show to us and to make the something is like a benefit. And also it's like once good mothers, examples, good parents, when they give education their own children, not the kind of beating way, not the kind of very forcefully. Sometimes they're using methods, darling, love, to study. And they talk about, look, this person study very well. they got so good job. Now they're intelligent, very famous, wonderful. Look at that. They're showing this kind of cartoons. Children's inspired, Then yes, I want to study it. And the parents all the time showing to the children good things. This is like, then it's children to get more advantage, more good education. Parents all the time showing ugly things. And then it's children is very business. For example, some ugly parents all the time is drink alcohol with, then even the children become alcoholic. Parents take a drug, parents all the time make war, fighting, and then children become very, very bizarre. This influence like this. And therefore also it's like some other holy beings, they show into like kind of ours. Like a situation in this case, you need to taking care of yourself. That is like this. It's impermanent, demonstrated to us like this. And then it's also it's like we have a little bit kind of enthusiastic. In the told one history, very, very famous one, great master in Dzogchen. He was a student of the Jigme. He was in the monastery. He's a very, very handsome monk. And he's working in the Chopin. 1,000 people around, and he's making like kind of nice dress and there. And then suddenly he saw that there's one lady, young lady. She's make a lot of jewels and sitting in the middle there very arrogantly. And she thinks it's very beautiful. And then he saw, okay, this lady is very much diluted. She thinks it's something permanent or something. And certainly, a little bit while after, he turned inward himself. This morning, wake up, and I'm in Chopin, and I'm showing some very elegant. I'm thinking I'm educated. I'm like kind of something, diluted myself. And it's like really, really did. And then he's crying. And some friend would say, are you sick? No, I'm not sick. Okay, then why you are crying? I don't know. Then he's understood the impermanent. It's something is we need to make the life is meaningful. And then all his job is done, and he run away in the Dzogchen Valley in the retreat. And then he stayed there. I want to make meaningful my life's resignment. And then certainly one day, one lady came, and she says, what are you doing here? She said, I'm impermanent. Like really life is very short. I need to do something accomplishment. And then she says, very strange, why you are stay in the empty place? You don't know nothing, how to practice, nothing. Why are you? If I'm in your situation, I'm going to in the center Tibet and visit the Jigme. And please drink tea, go away. Why you are disturb me? And then she drank tea and she went. And suddenly, how one woman's coming to here, old. And suddenly opened to run, looked around. There's she's disappeared. And then he's coming out. Maybe this is something telling me. He went a little bit more down the Dzogchen Valley. There's his mother, one son. Then he asked, Mom, now I'm going to in the center Tibet. And she said, no, because it's like I have only one child. Before I die, you go. I'm very sad. And then he says, Mom, do not stop me. It's better I do. It's like if I'm married, I to like kind of to stay here, like struggling our life, business, these things. Maybe nothing benefit you, nothing benefit me, nothing to do in this my life. I will go to see the Jigme. Maybe I will return. Even I'm not, I will to do some both benefits. Then he went in the Lhasa and he met in Jigme. He became the very, very famous master. Later, 8 or 9 years, come back, and she met and her son, and afterwards, wonderful. And he has 1,000 students. He helped to others. Like this, sometimes a little bit we need to think about ourselves, and this like to make the meaningful life. Of course, it's like doesn't want, and how we can to say like this. And today you can to look the page 3.1 and also to start the first paragraphs. Look the how quickly yesterday and today, this morning and the tonight, this year and next years, all the pass by one after the others. Nothing ever lasts. Nothing is dependable. There is like nothing reliable. It's like everything is transitory. Everything is a changing process. And there is nothing kind of existent dependable or the reliables. And it is the truth, reality. This is like not telling the negative things. For example, if a word in a language perspective, if someone's not reliable, then I may be liar and cheater like this. But in the relative, these appearances are. It is like Buddha, he said, like a dream, like a hallucination, like a kind of the impermanence. It is the truth. Today is a wonderful, magnificent, but this is really is the dependable. It is not like dependable because it's like tomorrow what is going on, we don't know. Like the same as the weather. Yesterday it was wonderful. We hope today is like this. Today is more cold. Maybe it's a big continue not. Tomorrow maybe become good weather. There's like kind of this nothing is dependable. And it's like everything is impermanent. And therefore ourselves, our body, speech, and mind is like this. This achievement of the human existence, it is not forever. We are going to lose this. Before we lose this, we need to do something benefit for ourselves and also others. Think about your village or the monastic community or the wherever you live. It's absolutely truth. I make kind of the joke, you know. When you live all the time, this where you live to stay there, and then it's like it become the looks like existence. If you change this area, maybe 5 or 6 years, you come back totally different. When I was in the Dzogchen monastery, okay, when I before lived there, this is my home, this is my everything. And I have a lot of friends, it's very. And when I came to India and Europe, the last I visited in the Dzogchen monastery, looks like it's the feelings, it's not my monastery. All the friends are gone, and many houses is changed. Then it's going to there's many monks there, I don't know them. And some friends is coming, someone's, even my age is already died, ask to them, oh, sorry, last year died, or accident did, or someone is become the lama, someone is become the different. Now there's all the monks is gone, and then it's like a very strange feeling, like this. Today is like a kind of the really pleasant, but tomorrow is changing. If in this perspective, also it is like everything is impermanent. And ourselves is like changing this kind of look the monastic communities, how much it has changed. And in this perspective, ourselves is also changeable. Before to change, we need to do something serious, Dharma, if you want. Or if you want to drink tea or coffee, good. 5 or 10 minutes we can to stop.